Da, 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 da. Here we are. It's finally started. And can any of you guys out there hear me out there in internet land? I was going to say TV land, but that's copyrighted. And these days, copyright is not accepted. So, can any of you guys out there repeat to me this sentence? Yes, I know you can repeat this sentence, but there is no sentence to repeat. So, yes, you all have all passed the test. Well, now, here we are. Yes, hello, David. It's finally time for that special live stream thing that I got planned, that I just planned pretty recently. So, let's see what you guys have to say. I'm open for any questions, any at all, within reason. So, what do you guys have? Let's hope this time I remember that there's a lot of lag in the live stream. So what's live to me comes to you guys 10 seconds later. If only I can actually remember that this time. Because, you know, YouTube isn't exactly as up to date as it should be. I guess it's kind of a metaphor for YouTube these days. YouTube thinks it's all cutting edge, but in fact, it's like a significant time behind the times. In fact, so much so that it's extremely noticeable. Huh, funny. I doubt that was intentional on their part. And don't worry if you've given all your questions to Larry, as I just seen a question come in here. Larry and I have significantly different answers sometimes. Sometimes I can go into far greater detail from what he lampshaded that my opinion was, because he did give me an occasional little bit here and there as to what my opinion is, but I don't really think I went into an enormous amount of detail. Now, there are very, very few questions that will not be accepted in this, which I think you should all know by now. They're the same rules given in the Q&A. Basically, no will you reviews, although my opinion on X thing is always accepted. Some certain questions that would go a little too far into the disgusting or distasteful. And I think you guys know exactly what is accepted, which is basically anything else. So let's see, what do you guys have? And if this thing isn't working for you, by the way, just refresh the page. You'll get brought right back into it. There we go. So, who's out there with some questions? I know there's some of you guys out there. There's like 8 people watching it. A lot of late starters because, you know, Christmas is over and there's, you know, a Christmas break going on. Hey, Zach Z-Tunes, you're back. How you doing? So, by the way, I got some good information. Since the last live stream, the people who have stolen the VeggieTales Abridged stuff have now gotten under fire from Dailymotion because we now found a way to actually get them for stealing our stuff. So now, enjoy those ones on Dailymotion while you can, because they're going away really, really quickly. Yeah, we finally found a way to get rid of them. That'll teach people for stealing from our stuff. Because we work hard for that. Even though I don't do any of the editing, I do everything else, like the casting. Oh, George Robertson asks, how was my Christmas? My Christmas was good, although unseasonably cold, which I know Christmas is supposed to be cold unless you're in Africa or South America, but we had like 19 degrees and it's still this cold over here. No snow, mind you, just ice and sleet, which is pretty brutal because especially this state does not get this cold, like, ever. This is record. Yeah, it was a really big change, especially for me, going to college in a much, much warmer state. In fact, one of the warmest states in the country. So it definitely came as to a big shock when I came back to this state and continued to freeze my skin off. And it was not entirely fun, although the Christmas itself was good. It's just the weather was unbearably cold and is now still very, very cold. David Tamburo, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It asks if I'm excited for the VeggieTales 25th anniversary this year. Not particularly, because I don't think they're really going to do anything. Because let's face it, if there's anything that Big Idea these days likes doing, it's ignoring the past and pretending that that never happened and that nobody likes it. Which I can testify, for at least my part, is certainly not the case. I mean, yeah, I love VeggieTales, of course, but yeah, I do care. So luckily, I don't know if I'll be able to do anything. I hope I can, but yeah, on the off chance that I won't be able to, well, I'll just maybe make a quick vlog. But let's face it, DreamWorks, Big Idea, Comcast, whoever owns them, is never ever going to do anything aside from just putting it on a few special edition DVDs, touting them as special edition, and raking in the profit, because that's all they really care about, just raking in the profit. And I've been over this a lot, but yeah. What was my inspiration for writing Charlie the Grand Union? I believe I covered this before in my favorite videos one, but let's go over that again, because I don't know if any of you guys have actually seen that video, so I don't blame you for not knowing about it. Oh, and by the way, real quick, I just got a comment saying that they're uploading it on their channel. Here's why they're uploading it on their channel. When revenue falls really hard for a show, like, say, Dave the Barbarian, for instance, they upload all the content to their channels for free so that people can get more exposed to it. And then that way they can get more money and attention from it. Because let's face it, Big Idea, especially as a company, is really hurting financially, significantly. And so they're probably putting that up. Now, probably, it's a fact that they're putting it up just to get a little extra revenue, because they are extremely in the depths of financial ruin right now, and it's not looking good for them. I can tell you that. So yes, back to Charlie the Grand Reunion. So I was in that play, as you know, Willy Wonka, back at that one theater group I'm still a part of. And well, I just really liked it a lot, and I got reconnected with a lot of the Roald Dahl books, and I just read it again. And felt, I kind of want to do it. I mean, I really had a lot of really close connection with that because of all the stuff it did for me. And if you don't know, I have archived all of those videos talking about what that play did for me. So you can go back in my channel and look, they're still there. Let's see. So yeah, I just really felt like it was something I wanted to do to just kind of express my gratitude for the thing helping me in the way that it truly did, because it was huge. Now, like I said, I did mention that Avenue Q helped me out in a different way, but that's a story for another day, unless you guys are interested in hearing about that. So, let's see. I just saw a question over here, but I don't remember where it was. Most overrated animated movie that I have ever seen. There's not very many that I find like overrated. I did like Zootopia, but I do think it's a little overrated, especially because the race allegory is just so painfully obvious. And actually, the race allegory, as my roommate pointed out, is really bad. Like, it's trying to go for equality, which is a very good thing, but it's actually really broken and actually kind of promotes a bad narrative if you really get down to it. Look it up. In short, it's basically like, so the predators are obviously an allegory for minorities, right? Well, the thing is, in real life, minorities aren't born any different from people aside from just the color of their skin. However, predators are, in any reality, they are born dangerous, vicious, and completely hostile and violent. So if they're claiming in universe that they're all equal, that's not the case, because they're born savages and monsters and killers and just naturally dumber. So if you're going to try to portray minorities that way and claim that they're, equal, which they are, that's not a good way of doing it, because you're making them look like monsters. So yeah, that's why I do like the movie, though. I do think it's fun. I do think it's funny. I just think it's a bit overrated. But when it comes to movies that I just like straight up don't like and think they're overrated, that's tough. There aren't very many of those out there, because mostly for animated movies, I generally agree with the common consensus. Although sometimes I can like have a little bit too much, like of a certain movie that I mentioned in the last live stream that it was was one of my least favorite ones. I said Alfonso and I would just rip that one to shreds given the chance. But yes, Billy Willie, wow, you agree with that too. Wow. My roommate and I thought we were the only ones, so I guess we should form our underground secret society of Zootopia, not quite detesters, but people who didn't really think it was as good as people claim. But if I can think of one that I truly dislike, I'll get back to you guys on that. Although I haven't seen Frozen, so I would probably say that just knowing my taste. But yeah, we'll get back to that. Would there be anything you would want to fix one of your series, aka VeggieTales Live Reload / VTA? VeggieTales Abridged we already did because, or not VeggieTales Abridged, VeggieTales Live Reloaded, we removed the songs because they're too hard to come up with, and sometimes they don't turn out as well as we thought because sometimes actually we ended up using the wrong take. That actually happened once and I didn't realize it. So if you're wondering why the Geralt song didn't sound as good, we used the wrong take. So yeah, VeggieTales Abridged, we already fixed that issue. We got more fan involvement, more fan input, and we have 2 editors now, Chi and Lee Fraser. Which, Lee Fraser, tomorrow you will be getting your stuff for episode 17, A Tale of Two Stories, which is the Josh and the Big Wall one, and the one that I've been planning for the longest. This is one of the first stories I ever came up with, right up there with Spooky Tales, and so yeah, this is going to be a fun one. And if you guys want to know any sneak peeks, just go to the live stream. Larry accidentally, quote unquote, leaks some information. And if you guys don't get your questions answered right away, feel free to repost them. And remember, the will you review questions are will you review questions are not accepted, but you can ask what my opinion is stuff. Script for episode 17 should be tomorrow. Like I said, I think you're in it. Yeah, that's right. I forgot I cast you as the narrator, so you'll be getting it tomorrow. It's being recorded actually right after this. I've got the sound room is currently not in use right now, so I think I'll be able to do it. And George Robertson says, in my top 5 underrated VeggieTales episodes, I said Celery Night Fever was a stupid episode. Hell yeah, I do stand by that. So why is because what happened with behind the scenes was, I'm not kidding here, the people behind it looked at it and said, gee, we're losing the adult audience, and because of that, they're starting to show their kids stuff less. Let's make an episode specifically for adults. Now, they have done this before. It's called Lyle the Kindly Viking. That one was primarily made for adults with all the humor. However, they don't really make it for adults so much as just blatantly reference adult things. But here's the difference between this and Lyle. Lyle does a bunch of adult jokes. Some of them are references, not all of them, but the ones that are done in a way where you don't have to know the thing. Celery Night Fever, it's just, let's make John Travolta an onion. Let's make it about dancing. It's also really juvenile, has no actual adult humor. It's just reference this, reference that. The whole thing was just kind of lazy, and it's a dumb concept. Why would you base an episode off of Saturday Night Fever, a movie that is not only not for kids, but is really dated when you look back at it? I don't know. It's just kind of like, I don't know. I had an analogy here, but I completely lost it. It's like, I guess, kind of basing it off of that thing you do, that movie from the 90s. Any of you guys remember it? No, I don't remember it either, except for I do because I mentioned it. Hi, NBC Megachu, aka Alex LaFell, creator of Orlando and Patricia. Dang it, I almost forgot her name. Okay, sorry about that. Hey, no, you haven't really missed anything, and you can rewatch the stuff when it comes back. Yep, Lee Fraser, that's right. Kurt Heineke had no involvement with that. I completely forgot. And it shows. The music is awful. It really is. It's just so cringy. I might someday have a whole cast VTA live stream thing, Billy. I might do that sometime. It might be kind of fun, but it might be a little hard. And like I said, Zaxy Tunes, I don't take requests here, but you can ask me my opinion on certain topics. Just letting you know. Okay, so do you guys have any other questions? And by the way, if your guys are wondering why Alfonso is not here, he's actually at rehearsal right now. He's in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and he's playing the King of France, who is only in the Broadway version. I myself do not have rehearsals, but actually I have them coming up next Friday. Not this Friday, next Friday, because I'm actually in Avenue Q again, school edition. It's not as good as the last school edition I did with my theater club. This one's it's not at the college, but it's one down the street. It's good. It's good. It's just not as good as the other one. And I'm Rod this time, so I guess I'm both part of it. David again asks, or not David again, he didn't ask this before, at least I don't think. But he is asking another question. That's what I'm trying to say in my completely stuttery language. What is my favorite video game? I have a few. I like Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Heroes, Cuphead, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Banjo-Kazooie, and what was the other one? Oh, Pac-Man World 2. And I can't really tell you what theater because they're not telling you where I'm going to school. All I'll tell you is that it's in Arizona. That's all I'll tell you. I go to not high school. I graduated high school, and I'm glad I'm out of that because that was a nightmare. Because the school was just terrible. It was like a cult. I'll tell you more about it some other day, but I go to college in Arizona, and it's an oven. It's just an oven state. So coming here with 19-degree weather, which is unseasonably cold for even this state, going back to Arizona, which is like 70 degrees right now, it's going to be painful. Oh, hey, Billy lives in Arizona. Sweet. Where? I was going to ask what part, but I don't know if you're comfortable with talking about that. Okay, so if you plan to do a lesson accepting change, what source would you use for VeggieTales Live Reloaded episode? Like, what do you mean by accepting change? Can you elaborate on that a little bit? And yes, I will answer this. I just need a little bit more information, like what kind of accepting change? All right. What happened? Well, that's what happens when I live in Illinois. Yep. Well, I don't live in Illinois, but still. Yes, George Robertson. I have seen The Little House That Stood. Not a big fan of it. Did I get the Live Reloaded name from Conker? Actually, not really. It was actually more of Alfonso's suggestion. He didn't actually know that that was a Conker thing, but we just liked it. But that's why in a couple of the earlier episodes, Conker Live and Reloaded is always in the suggested feed. I don't know why, but now I think the new episodes have developed a reputation or something. I don't know. So now it's like usually never in the recommended section. But yeah, we didn't exactly take it from there, but it was kind of more or less. Rock Dog. She asked what my opinion is on Rock Dog. I actually haven't seen it, but I did hear a lot of hate that went on because it was, again, a Norm of the North thing where it was supposed to be a Redbox exclusive, but it got put into theaters. Although this one was a limited one, and I can certainly tell that this movie was not nearly as bad as Norm of the North, which I've only seen part of and I could not sit through it. Because I was going to watch it with some friends going, hey, this is fun, but then we were like, oh, wait, we just went to see the Emoji Movie last week. Remember how we thought that was going to be so bad it's good, but in fact it was so bad we wanted to drink paint? Yeah, so like we didn't want to watch the rest of Norm of the North, but I haven't seen Rock Dog. I heard a lot of people really didn't like it, but I'll reserve judgment until I see it or if I see it. Yeah, the animation did look pretty good, though, I will admit. I just haven't seen it, so I have no opinion. Cave Cat wants to know what my opinion is on Veggies in Space, the Final Frontier. Could have been good. Really could have been good. I just think it was really lame fan service because it was the fan service thing where it's like, oh, we're losing the older audience. We need to get them back. Hey, Are You My Neighbor is really popular. Let's do something based off of that, only not quite. See, when they were trying to do the story, they failed to think that if they adapted it all the way, it would be more successful. It's one of those things where it's the cartoon adaptations or the live action adaptations of cartoons where they say, hey, if we adapt part of it, maybe it'll be successful instead of if we do all of it. That philosophy has never worked for anything, and I don't see how that's even feasible. I don't get it. Why would you think that? And this is very clearly the case here. The humor was also pretty weak, although I did think the silly song was decent. Sparky the Dog, this started about 17 minutes ago, I think. I haven't seen Coco actually, so please no spoilers. But I'm seeing it on Friday with a family. With the family, it's a family outing, and I heard it's great, and I'm excited. Yeah, the Star Wars Holiday Special, William Bartz. I think I know I pronounced her last name correctly in the last stream. I hope I'm pronouncing it again. Yeah, that movie is so bad it's good. I thought it was really funny. Um, okay, so I got an explanation for what the change thing means. Oh yeah, that Inspector Gadget one. We are still actually considering that story. Uh, Alex Lavelle, aka NBC Megashoe, which I will call you from now on. We are still considering it, but we may not use the lesson, but we're still thinking it. Yes, I did see The Last Jedi Cave Cat, and I was not a fan of it, actually. I did not care for it. Granted, it's bleh. I didn't think it was Phantom Menace bad, and I didn't think it was Attack of the Clones bad, but I actually do think Revenge of the Sith was a better movie than that. It was, I did not really like it at all. I thought the villain Snoke was extremely weak. Uh, it was one of those Return of the King things where it had too many endings. I did not think that the humor was good at all. Because here's a little something that you guys don't know. I don't like Marvel movies except for Deadpool and Spider-Man: Homecoming. Like the new Marvel Cinematic Universe, especially Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't like those. I don't find their style of humor funny. I don't find how they can't take a serious moment for anything endearing at all. I can't stand it. And to the fact that this one was more of a Marvel movie in a lot of parts, not all of it, in a lot of it, than it was a Star Wars movie, that certainly didn't help. In fact, this is a tiny bit of spoiler. It's not a spoiler. It's just like a line of dialogue. In the very beginning, when one of the main characters, I keep forgetting his name, it's the pilot guy, he's trying to contact the captain of the First Order ship. He's like, hello? Hey, is this him? Or is this his like sister or his assistant? And I'm like, my dad was laughing. He looked over at me, and I just went. I buried my head in my hands, saying, "Oh no, they were right. It's a Marvel movie." But yeah, Chi, I can understand that you don't really like Star Wars. It's not really for everyone. My mom certainly doesn't really care for it, but to be fair, she only really likes Hallmark movies, much to our chagrin. FCC stuff that occurred in December, I don't even want to think about it. As basically my thought is, if I don't think about it, it doesn't happen. Uh, let's see. I just had something here, but have I seen The Star? No, but a lot of my Christian friends did go to see it, and they said they were not very impressed. Uh, there's something about Christian movies that just never really seem to work. There's always something wrong with them. The only real Christian movies I've seen that were actually pretty decent, to my memory, were Fireproof and Jonah. That's pretty much it. Well, there are ones that are made by more like secular companies that are all right, but like a lot of the specifically made Christian movies, which I know this one was made by Sony Pictures Animation, which has only done like one or two good movies. Even still, I did not really feel that this one was worth seeing. So I don't really think I'm going to see it. And yes, I'm so excited for Incredibles 2, because a couple of you have asked that now. But yes, I am so excited for that. I've been waiting for that for a long time. I mean, I think they should have made this over Finding Dory or Monsters Inc. 2, Rise of the Revenge or whatever. Oh, David Tamburo, you and I are going to have to agree to disagree on God's Not Dead. I am sorry. Yes. So anyways, what was I saying? Yeah. What is kind of worrying me about Pixar, though, is their abundance of sequel, like Toy Story 4. I do not want to see Toy Story 4. I mean, I may or may not, but it does not seem like an idea they should have done. Toy Story was good enough when it was just the three. Why make another fourth? Why make a fourth one? Why slap another pointless sequel on it? But if Coco is as good as people say it is, I'm looking for. I'm going to be very happy. Incredibles 2 getting a lot of buzz. Yeah. NBC Megashoe, have I seen the Almighty movies? Yes, Bruce and Evan Almighty. I like Bruce Almighty, and I think Evan Almighty is decent. I don't. A lot of people didn't like it because it wasn't as good, which, yeah, that's a reason to dislike it. But I don't think that's a reason to call it a bad movie. It wasn't as good as the first one. Uh, what was I just saying? I just completely lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I still thought it was decent, although I did feel a little rehashy. I did think it was pretty decent, and I thought it was worth watching. I don't hate Sony Pictures Animation. It's just there's like almost no movies that they made that I actually like. Let's see if I can remember the ones that I even liked. I know I'm saying oh, I was because I'm trying to think of which ones there are. I just pulled up a list right now. Let's see. Are there any of them that I have liked? Do 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 do. Okay, actually, there have been two that I've liked. I have not seen the Goosebumps movie though, so I can't really say. And Hotel Transylvania was okay, but I wouldn't say that I liked it. But the only two movies that they've actually made that I've really liked have actually been more of Aardman movies: Arthur Christmas and Pirates: Band of Misfits, aka Pirates Adventures with Scientists. That's pretty much it. I didn't like Open Season, didn't like Surf's Up. Clyde with the Chance of Meatballs, actually, I actually thought that one was pretty decent. So yeah, I guess I'd say like that one. The Smurfs, no. Hotel Transylvania, like I said, decent. Smurfs 2, no. Cloudy 2, no. Hotel Transylvania 2. Goosebumps, haven't seen it. Smurfs Lost Village, no. Emoji Movie, no. Star, no. Peter Rabbit, I'm hearing a lot of flack about that one. Goosebumps Horrorland, that one seems pretty interesting. Hotel Transylvania 3, not going to see it. So yeah, it's just that I'm not that big on it. And I am going to go see that Popeye movie, though. When and if ever it comes out, I will be seeing it. Animat's hatred for Sony. Yeah. There's a lot of things I disagree with Animat on, like whenever he tries to talk politics, or whenever he tries to say he's a Canadian, which he most clearly is not. But let's leave that for another day. Uh, but yeah, his hatred for Sony, I can actually really testify to that. Although I do like Clyde with the Chance of Meatballs, I do admit that it did a lot of harm to the industry, the same way that Shrek or South Park hurt the industry, although they themselves are objectively good. I do agree that, but we just have different tastes in some movies. Yes, I have seen Animat's review of Jonah, and I can definitely tell he was really biased because let me give you a little spoiler. Animat is an atheist, and it's very clear, and I don't think he judged it very fairly, but and well, it's not that he didn't judge it fairly because he's not a Christian. That's okay. I know a lot of atheists who actually like VeggieTales, but it's that like he very clearly had the mindset, oh, it's Christian, so I can't like it. It's very clear about that, and he was comparing something small like Big Idea to something like Pixar, which it's very clear that they're two different things. It's like saying that apples and bananas should be compared just because they're both fruits. Yes, I actually have seen the Illumination movies, George Robertson, and actually I haven't liked any of them. The closest one I've liked was Despicable Me, which I thought was decent. Although I hate the Minions, I will say that. But I had none of their movies other than that I have liked, especially the Lorax. I hate the Lorax so much. And Christian Nutrition, I know a couple of you have been asking. I actually blocked him from my channel because he kept what was I saying? He kept posting a lot of spam comments on my channel, getting me to watch it, and so I had to block him. And I've never watched his stuff. Why I think Animat is not Canadian is because he has made several references to us in this country, specifically during the election, and talking about several American things, and has only mentioned being Canadian after Donald Trump became president. And no, I will not beat you with a rake, Billy. Willie, you're too good of a person for me to do that, and it's just your opinion. And Sing looked cute. It just, you know, Sony animation is just not for me. And yes, MVC and Mega Choose. So, not Sony. Too much on the Sony thing here. Miss Hagsley is inspired by that exact joke on there, but she was never intended to be an actual character until Chuck and the. I almost said Chuck and the Grand Reunion, but no, that's not a thing. Chuck and the Fantastic Factory, because we really need someone to play Grandma Josephine. And we didn't really have any old lady characters that were suitable. I mean, we had Magrave, who was already being used, and that was about it. So we just decided to put her in, and then that was the end of that. I do not have a Nintendo Switch, but Alfonso does, and he has let me play it a lot. It's not exactly mine. It's like how the Virtual Boy is mine. But you know what I'm trying to say. No, I do not have it. But I have played it a lot, especially because our RA in college actually has the Switch, and he lets us play it every Tuesday when we have youth group stuff. Well, not youth group because we're not youths, we're adults. But you know what I'm saying? Small group. That's what I'm trying to say. Favorite old schooled animes. Um, I actually don't really watch that much anime. I guess I liked Naruto a lot back in the day, but like I said last time, I haven't seen it in a while, so I wouldn't really be able to judge. I liked Soul Eater. Soul Eater's a pretty good one. I don't watch it a ton. There's this one that Alfonso was showing me a while ago. I don't remember the name, but I thought it was pretty good. I don't really remember anything about it. And yes, he does try to trick you a lot with some of his background stuff, G. He's showed up video DVD titles in a lot of his reviews before. And then suspiciously, after he said he was Canadian in the what was it, after the election, they suddenly started to have the English and French titles, which actually some DVDs do not have. So either he faked the covers or he just got the Canadian French version. But I'm going to leave him alone because if he is, that's none of my business. If he isn't, that's none of my business. What Animat believes and says is not anything in effect for me. My opinion on the Ice Age movies, I thought the first one was decent. Didn't really care for any of the others. The only one that I thought was explicitly bad that I saw was the fourth one. I've only seen the first four, though. I haven't seen Collision Course, which my dad was watching it on TV because it was free. My dad's one of those people, it's like whenever we get HBO for free for like a weekend, he watches anything on there. And he was watching, like, so how is it? He's like, oh, it's so awful. I kept asking him, like, hey, why don't you switch over? And he's like, I don't know. I mean, it's free. We're only going to have it for so long. I have seen Galaxy Buck, some guy who arts. Although, again, not as good as VeggieTales, I do think it is one of his better shows on Jellyfish Labs, which unfortunately he doesn't have that many. I was going to say that many good shows, but there's more stable shows, more shows that last. He doesn't really have any of those, unfortunately. He seems to just be kind of jumping around from thing to thing, trying to find something that'll work, which, for his sake and for a lot of the Christian Children's Show committee, community, sorry, not committee, I hope he finds something that works for him, and I hope that he finds some stability, but it just doesn't look like he's able to right now. But I think that it's a very good thing. Not very good, but I do think it is a pretty good thing so far. I have watched Song of the South, actually. I really like it. It is not racist at all, whatever people say, because a lot of people say it whitewashes over slavery. But the thing is, there's no slavery in that. That's during the Grant administration, which is the Reconstruction era. What happened after Reconstruction is a lot of slaves did work on the plantations that they were originally from, but were treated better, although, yes, they were held in a bit of prejudice light. But they were paid and they were given actual housing. So there was no racist stereotype. And yeah, Uncle Remus and like Brer Fox especially, they are a little too much for some of the racist stereotype stuff. Like they can be a little much, especially the term tar baby, which is an actual term that they used back then, but it's also a part of the story. So yeah. But I do think the animated segments are better, but it is one of my favorite live action ones. And actually, yes, I almost did do the same thing as you. I almost spent $15 on a bootleg DVD. But yeah, when I found the reviews for the bootleg place I was at, it was at Comic-Con, and someone came up right as I was about to buy that and a bootleg copy of The Thief and the Cobbler recobbled cut. Someone came up saying that the DVD was crappy because he put it in his laptop to watch it during lunch, and so I instantly dropped him off and left. So yeah, I dodged a bullet there. I'm not familiar with Voltron Cave Cat, but my roommate watches it actually. He watches it a bit, especially that new one. He watches it. It looks pretty good. And when Alfonso and I are working on our show and stuff, sometimes there will be that in the background. But we haven't really paid that much attention to it. What do I think of the Madagascar ones? The first, they heard they're going to make another one, and like Toy Story, I don't want there to be another. Do I own any rare VeggieTales merch? I do own one of the original Where's God When I'm Scared VHSs, or at least I did for a while. I think I accidentally gave it away when I was younger. But I do have the original Rack Shack and Benny, and I have an unopened copy of the original God Wants Me to Forgive Them from 1994. And yes, it has a sticker on it so that it's dated. Did I end up buying Animal Soccer World for that one video? No, MVC. I actually did not. Alfonso and I looked high and low, and we actually found a high quality, well, high quality as Dingo Pictures can possibly be, rip of it online. And actually, it's available online if you guys want to go find it. I hope it's still up because it's hilarious. But yeah. My best advice, Elzario Evo. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Man, why can't you guys have names like Joe and Bob? But I kid, I kid. My advice, I can't really give any advice right now because we're currently learning ourselves. I mean, we've been in the production for almost 3 years. So we're definitely be patient and definitely try to find work or try to find help and work whenever you can. Have seen Monsters vs. Aliens, thought it was decent. I did not buy Dorby's, actually, Sparky. To be honest, I haven't seen any actual copies or pictures of the VHS. Now, I have seen pictures, very few, but they're very low quality. And you can actually buy Dorby's on the Gaither website right now. It's in a very low quality DVD, which is all it is purple with some really ugly text on it and a small, tiny little picture of Fleck. I don't really know why we would do a live and reloaded on the Gravinians. The Gravinians is not very good. I thought you meant you like an actual episode. Okay. No, we actually may watch the Gravinians as a watch, but I think TV Trash did it so well already that even I think Mr. Enter's review, while good, I don't think it was as good as TV Trash. Like I said, you guys have to watch TV Trash. One of my favorite channels ever. The guy is just awesome. It's not that he lives that close to me, but still. But I don't know him at all, but he is a great guy. He's got a lot of really good content. I think you're really going to enjoy it. I know I made a shout out video. Billy Willie, I don't know if his growing around will ever happen. I was decently excited, but it's all but slowed down. And from what he's talked about, he's losing a lot of interest in it, which I don't know. I hope he's going to be all right. But yeah, as long as it's not a Sonichu thing like Christian Weston Chandler had, I think we're good. My thoughts on Shrek getting a fifth film? Well, somebody once told me the world was going to rule me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. And she was looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. And that's basically it. They're basically making it just because it's a meme. Although I don't think they know it's a meme. I actually think that they think Shrek is just legitimately popular. Actually, Billy, try more like 5 years because we've been actually. But yeah, real quick, I don't have high hopes for Shrek 5. The fourth one and third one were not very good, although the first two were great, specifically the second one. But here's a little bit of a history for our show. We actually started it in early 2015, January 2015. So coming up here in like a week and a half, we'll be approaching our third anniversary for working on the show. We've been working on this since my sophomore year of high school. And we've gone through a lot of artists, we've gone through a lot of actors, but actually we have a cast together. We have 6 episodes written right now, although 3 of them are going through the proofreading phase right now. And we have a cast together, we have a couple artists together, and we are getting a whole team ready to go. We're working up to getting the company name copyrighted in a couple months. And this summer especially, Alfonso and I have agreed to, in fact, push as hard as we can to make sure we get this going. And yes, animation is not cheap. But especially these days, we're thinking of maybe like, what was I saying? Doing crowdfunding. And it's not just Elzario. We didn't just have the idea. That's when we started working on it. We had the idea for longer than that, but we officially started work in 2015, like getting a team together, writing some stuff, writing some character outlines, because it actually took us like 2 years before we wrote the first episode, because we spent that long trying to develop the characters, because we really think that a good show can be piloted by good characters, similarly to a lot of other shows like Total Drama, for instance, or Drawn Together or VeggieTales. Shows that would not work if the characters weren't the way they were, although we're not going to be offensive about it like in one of the shows I mentioned. Here's the thing, though. We wanted it to be so well done, but that came at a price. we had to retool a lot of the characters. A lot of characters have come and a lot of characters have gone, but we have a final cast now that I think we're very satisfied with. But we have eventually come to a title, we've come to a format, we've come to a cast, characters, art style, writing style, and even a theme song. And I hope you guys enjoy it when it comes out, because we're working on it right now, but we'll give you more information as it comes up. And when it gets closer to coming out, it's going to get its own YouTube page. So that means it's going to have 4 channels I have, although one of them is entirely inactive because Presidentopia took too much of my time and had like no attention to it. So yeah, that's going to be this channel. And then another one Matt and I are making, which I may or may not link to you guys. Maybe I'll just have you go find it yourself. And then of course that one will come up when it's time and Alfonso and I will share it. And that's not including the, what was I saying? That's not even including Alfonso's YouTube channel, which I did a shout out to. Since you talked about Total Drama, is a video in season 16 in the works? Actually, yes, in June probably. Alfonso and I are going to talk about 16 because he actually really likes it a lot. I think it's good, but it is coming. By the way, let's talk about Total Drama Daycare. Why? Why would you do this? I mean, I know I was really hard on the Redorculous Race or whatever it's called, and I was begging, pleading that Fresh TV would take that as a sign that people didn't like it to improve. But then what do? You go make Muppet Babies, but like 20 years too late. Not only this, but apparently it was even stolen from like some sort of DeviantArt thing. Like this was already made in 2014 or something. And then there's like characters from 16 in there, which doesn't even really work. I'm excited to see characters like Ezekiel who are back to normal, but this just seems stupid. I know it's in an alternate reality, but did anybody want this? Did anybody ever say to Fresh TV, I will not watch your show until you make Total Drama Babies? Who said that? Who did it? Did Chris Jen do that? I don't know. Who said that? I don't know. This just seems like the biggest step backwards you could have gone. Yes, bigger step back from All Stars. Not kidding. In fact, I am not going to watch it when it comes out. Alfonso said he will watch it out of sheer curiosity. Those are the exact words he did. But, what was I saying? Yeah, but he will tell me if it's worth watching or not. If it's not, I will not touch it. But that looks atrocious. Yeah, so that is those are my long thoughts on Total Drama Babies or whatever it's called. Okay, I missed a couple questions up here. Let's see. Yeah, if you guys want to send me anything like fan art or something, just feel free to send me something, like a link or something. And yeah, actually, Sparky, I went insane years ago. This is just when the symptoms are showing. Trust me. Yeah, because that school I was in, because the school I was in put me through a lot of insane stuff. But actually, Jonah may or may not be the bridge finale, NBC. That's what we're aiming for. It's not going to be the first sure finale, but that's basically like, we can't stop till we get to Jonah. We can't stop till we get to Jonah, like that. But that's when we're like, that's as far as we're not planning on getting, because we're planning on going further. That's just like, okay, we can only stop when Jonah gets made. A couple people have suggested that I do a VeggieTales Abridged movie, which would be a terrible strain on the editors, but if they were up to it, then maybe. We'll have to see. Yes, I am in college, actually, Ozario. But yes, Jonah will be a big one. We have a lot of stuff planned. In fact, the Puppet Master thing that Larry mentioned is actually going to start becoming an arc in VeggieTales Abridged, not like a story arc to where the show ends up getting like really serious. Because let's face it, you don't want to see VeggieTales Abridged get serious. But there is going to be start doing some stuff where they find out that people are manipulating their fate and stuff, and it becomes a running joke, and then eventually a plot point here and there. But I'm giving away too much. But let's face it, you guys like spoilers because I do, and I tell you guys what you like because that's how it works in this day and age. I'm on the internet, therefore I can tell you what you guys are supposed to like. And I have a Facebook account, so that also makes it extra good. Yeah, there's no way VeggieTales is going to make. Yeah, what was I saying? There's no way they're going to make a Sweeney Todd one. If my theater group nearby can't do Sweeney Todd anymore, there's no way VeggieTales can get away with it. Maybe, Ozario, we might make a movie off of our show, but we'll have to see. We're going to do one thing, though. We're not doing what Jonah did and doing it too early. No, we're waiting till we're ready. Yeah, whenever anything happens in life, no matter what it is, always wait till you're ready. And this is like for a business thing, so don't take that into other things. But for a business thing, wait until you're ready. Never go too fast. We use Me, Myself, and Bob, the book, as a not a Bible, but like a big guide. We're building our company off of that book. So that way, we know everything Phil Vischer did wrong and everything he did right. And we're going to update it for our modern day age. So, yeah. What are my thoughts on WWE crossovers? Stupid and unnecessary. The Scooby-Doo one, at least made a little sense. And Surf's Up, too, looked pretty dumb. I mean, I don't think I'd like it. I think I'd like it even less. I mean, what was I saying? I think I'd like it even less if I liked Surf's Up, but I don't. No, VeggieTales is never gonna do a Sweeney Todd. Sorry, Chi. They will never do that. There's no way they can get away with it. I mean, to be honest, I don't even think they could get away with like Futurama or something, or even another one that we're planning on based off of a real life event, actually. One of them that we're planning on for the 2018-2019 season is based off of a very controversial event in real life, American history specifically. Now, it's pretty recent, so the wounds are still a little fresh. It's not 9/11. It's not 9/11, but it did happen around that time. And it has real people and stuff in it. Well, not real people. They're played by VeggieTales. You know what I mean? But it's got a lesson that we've really wanted to teach, and we hope that this is going to be a well-received one. It's going to be a little bit more on the serious side than some of the jokes, but that's because we really want to do this lesson for a while, and we were even debating on whether or not we could even do this episode without all the controversy. But we felt like we're big enough to get over it. And the thing is, unlike stuff like David and Bathsheba, we can't really tiptoe around what it is because that's the whole point of what it is. Although there's not like adult themes, except for there's like stuff that kids won't really understand because it's like a lot more detailed than stuff of what kids are used to. But we're gonna simplify it for them, and I think it's a long story. You guys are gonna have to see it when it comes out. You'll know what it is, trust me, because we'll be telling you in advance. Yeah, just know that it's got Mr. Nezzer playing a character who is pretty prominent in this day and age, specifically in the United States. Thoughts on Treasure Planet? Really ashamed that it didn't do as good as it did at the time because its failure ended up hurting the Disney 2D animated brand a lot. But I do think the movie was actually very, very good. What made you guys think of making Nate Rocky a cucumber? Not us, actually. Isabella Cataldo, when we still had contact with her, which I wonder where she is. She's never responds to our emails anymore. But she actually is like, hey, you guys made a Phil Vischer character, so here, I'll just send you one about Sparky the dog. You actually got it correct. She just sent it back to us and said, here, we had a Mike Naraki character. And we're like, we don't know how to include this. Make him a character. Make him a character. So then we did that. And you know what I'm saying. And also, I think she was also driven because there was a Mike Naraki lookalike character in the show Must Go On. You remember that part where the prince was like, hey, do I know you? Nope. You look familiar. You guys remember that part? If you don't, then go back and watch it. Yes, go back and watch my videos. Do it now. What's my take on The Lion King 1.5 and Secret NIMH 2? Secret NIMH 2 is pretty dumb, but I don't really hate it. Yes, I know she's still around on Google+, but she still won't respond to anything I send. And Lion King 1.5, I think, is actually pretty funny. It kind of reminds me of that old Timon and Pumbaa show. You guys still remember that? Let's see. What else? By the way, will it be a video series sort of like episodes every once a month? What are you talking about, Ozario? Which series? Which series are you talking about? Because if it's Live and Reloaded, that's what the old schedule was, but now it's whenever they come up. Because basically every single series on this, what was I just saying? Every series on that on this channel basically is now at a whenever it comes out. Oh, you're talking about my actual show. No, that's going to be a Netflix thing. That's not going to be online. We're actually hoping to get that either on Netflix or by a distributor. Yeah, that's my favorite comic strips. I have two, actually three: Calvin and Hobbes, Peanuts. Um, Actually, now I think of it, four. Wow. So Garfield, Peanuts, Calvin and Hobbes, and Dilbert. Those are my four favorites. Specifically, Garfield and Dilbert. Those are my. If I had to pick, those would be my like absolute two favorites. What's my opinion on Horton Hears a Who? The Jim Carrey version. It was all right. Yeah, of the Dr. Seuss ones, I thought it was the best done, but I don't think it was like great. Has Big Idea tried taking down any more of our videos? Yes, they actually have. They just tried taking down Smells Like Viking, but for the first time, we actually won in a copyright battle. I can't believe it. We actually won. But yeah, we kicked their butts and we actually did it. What's your thought on VeggieTales? Well, NBC, if you want to do it, go right ahead and do that. I have no control over your show, but go ahead and do it if you want, and God bless you for doing it. And good luck. So what else do you guys have to say? Also like Garfield, Peanuts, and Dilbert. I'm glad you do, Cave Cat, but what about Calvin and Hobbes? Yeah, Celsario, we definitely don't want to do Pamphlet Entertainment. I mean, I think they're out of business. I think someone might have like revived it, but yeah, we don't want to pull a Bible Man here. Trust me. Actually, we have a character that actively makes fun of Bible Man, so we're definitely hoping. Let's see. Have I seen Brain and Mr. Whiskers? Yes, but I kind of have a slight grudge because that was Dave the Barbarian's friendly rival. Like, you guys remember how? The Angry Video Game Nerd and the Nostalgia Critic way back in the day were friendly rivals. That was what Dave the Barbarian and Brain and Mr. Whiskers were. Now, Dave the Barbarian is one of my favorite shows, so I kind of have to be in that camp, but I still really like it. And Cave Cat just asked, I did really like the Peanuts movie. I even made a review, I think like 2 years ago or something on it, and yeah, that still stands up. My show will feature human characters, yes. I have seen Kung Fu Panda. First one's good, second one's really good, and third one is good. Second one, I think, is the best. It was really hard to beat. All right, look, see you later, Lee Fraser. You might want to watch the rest of this when you're done, though, because there's a lot of stuff. Emperor's New Groove, really good. Anyways, like I was saying, there might be some VTA stuff popping up. Do I prefer Sonic Mania or Sonic Forces? Haven't played either of them. Have I played any other sports other than foot bowling? I do play regular bowling and backwards bowling, but I'm not really a sports person. In fact, my favorite NFL team would be the Splungos, only because they always win. I mean, but to be fair, everyone's favorite is the Splungos, right? I mean, right. Come on, who doesn't love the Splungos? Tell me about how much you love the Splungos. Everyone loves them. Splungoo. I know you guys don't get that yet because you haven't seen the show yet. And we don't know if it will be in 2D or 3D. We haven't really decided. Yeah, it's gonna be a really really good thing. I mean, we all love the Splungos, right? Come on, who doesn't? You guys love it, don't you? Yeah, you love the Splungos, I know it. Okay, least favorite animated movie. I had a feeling this one was gonna pop up. All right, so, I have two least favorite movies that absolutely boil my blood at the sight of them. You guys ready to see me get angry? Because I'm gonna get angry. All right, let me know. Do you guys want to see me get angry? I'm about to. And when you guys respond, then I'll answer that question. Do I like Blue Sky Studios? They're okay. They're not particularly my favorite. I don't have anything against them. It's just that I really wish they'd do more Peanuts movies instead of Ice Age movies, but whatever makes some money, I guess. But some of their stuff's good. Some of it's very hit and miss. What season of Digimon did I like the best? I have never seen Digimon. Okay, so you guys want to see me get angry? Okay. Whoo, here we go. Okay, so Arabian Night. What was I saying? Arabian Night. The Thief and the Cobbler re-edit. Oh, that makes me so angry because I know the feeling of having something you really, really, really work hard for just taken away from you. Because if you guys don't know, what happened with that was Richard Williams worked for 30 years, I'm not kidding, 30 years on this movie, actually even more than that, and it just got taken away from him in the last minute and re-edited into Aladdin ripoff. And the thing is, if the movie came out the way he was planning, it would have been great. It's one of my favorite movies, the re-edited version. The animation is beautiful. It's made with like really fancy Persian artwork-esque animation styles and sequences. It's got a really good cast, and it's really quiet for a lot of it. It lets the orchestration and the music and the animation tell the story. Vincent Price is great as always. But the thing is, they just randomly took the movie because they felt like he wasn't making the deadlines, which he wasn't, but their agreement said that he had a little bit more time to make it. Unfortunately, they took it away, and then they ended up what was I saying? They ended up just retaking everything. They added in song numbers, they added in voiceovers of really unneeded characters, like the main character now is voiced by Matthew Broderick and just won't shut up. Matthew Broderick man, what are you doing here, man? Jonathan Winters was playing the thief, and they actually told him, he actually admitted this in a press conference, they told him to go into a booth and say, okay, say what you think Robin Williams would say at this part. They actually just straight up told him, do what you think Robin Williams would say. So it was very clear. This movie that was made to defy Disney and to be this unique piece of art just was thrown away just to get a cheap buck, which ultimately backfired because the movie didn't even make $1 million in the box office. $26 million right down the drain. That's the Arabian Night Miramax version. Alfonso couldn't even get through the full thing. When you remember when we were making the Sport of the Stone, that condo we were at, right? Well, the very first night we were there, we wanted to watch both versions. So we watched the recobbled version the first night, and then the second night we tried to watch the Miramax one. He couldn't even get through it. He actually had to leave and say, let me know when it's over. So then we ended up actually turning it off and just watching Wild the Kindly Viking instead. Not kidding. It was so bad. It made us so angry. But little did we know, we would later find a movie that'd make us even angrier, which of the two movies that I absolutely hate, this would be the one I would pick over of being the one I hate the most. The one that I would wish would die in a boiling pit of oil very painfully. So it's the Drawn Together movie, and if you've seen Mr. Enter's review of it, you know that he was way too nice. Alfonso and I, if you put us in a room with nobody around us, let us know that there's like a camera going so that way people can understand. But if you just like make sure nobody's in the room aside from like a camera, and you just eliminate all distractions and just have us talk about that movie, we would go on for hours. We actually have devoted privately, I'm not kidding, a 2.5 hour conversation on why we hate it. And we just got angrier and angrier. We got nauseous, we got sad, we got angry. And you may think it's because we don't like the show. We do like the show. Most of it. Now, the first season had some very hit and miss episodes. The first couple were not very good. Season 2 was like half and half. Third season was just awful, and there was nothing good about it. But then that movie came out because the creators, Dave Jester and Matt Silverstein, who were very, very clearly unstable. They were not very happy about getting canceled. They were very unhappy. So what they did was they said, hey, there's this big outcry for us to come back. Well, hey, let's stick it to them, to those fans who didn't try hard enough. Let's kill off their favorite characters in a gruesome way. Let's flanderize all the characters. Oh, no, let's not even do that. Let's flanderize them sometimes, and then other times let's turn them into the least popular main character, Spanky, and just make them all disgusting perverts. Now, the original show did have times like this, specifically in the third season, where the characters, although this did happen frequently throughout the regular show too, where the characters would just do the Family Guy thing, where they just all of a sudden act completely out of character in order to favor some sort of joke, which the joke would sometimes be funny, sometimes not. But the thing is, part of what made the show good was the characters were actually really, really strong, and there's a lot of subtext you could look into and a lot of development. This movie throws that all away and just tries to make Family Guy blush. And it is disgusting. It's wrong. It treats the character poorly. Tell you what. Yes, I actually did know that there was a Drawn Together episode that makes fun of VeggieTales. I saw it. First 2/3 were good. The second third, not so good. But anyways, there may come a time, if you guys really want it, you guys are going to have to keep telling us this, by the way, because we have so many videos we want to make over the summer because our summer is our free period out of college and stuff. So when we're not working on our show, we're going to have a lot of videos. But if you guys really want to see the angriest we could possibly get, just the most visceral hatred, because you know Alfonso, right? He's a pretty laid-back guy. Because in our talks, I'm usually the more, not hyperbolic, but I put a lot more emotion into stuff. That also sounded wrong. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I usually am the more expressive one. He's a pretty laid back person, but he gets genuinely angry. Like, I know he got pretty angry in the nerd review, but he gets like shouty angry, which never happens. But we get so viscerally angry that even looking at the cover of the DVD, which thankfully has become super rare these days, so we don't even have to worry about bumping into it, even looking at that gets us going into little rages. So if you guys really want to see the video, feel free to let us know, either by messaging or commenting on related videos, or even in this chat. But I dwelled enough on that one question, so here we go. What do I think of Disney buying Fox? Disney's going to take over the world. Might as well buy Fox. In all honesty, though, I really think that that's a bad idea. Bad idea. Disney and Google are just buying way too many things, and they're pushing monopoly limits here. This is what Teddy Roosevelt fought against in 1904, so this is definitely not a good thing here. I think they're going way too far in this. Do I plan to make another food special in the summer? We don't really have any access to anything right here. The local markets haven't had anything good recently. What was my opinion on 2014 Tom and Jerry show? Never saw it. What do I think of Nostalgia Critic and CinemaSins? CinemaSins, I think, is okay. I'll watch their movies every so often if it's a movie I really care about, like really want to get shot down, like The Room or the Emoji Movie. Nostalgia Critic, good until he came back. Then I think his first few videos were really rough. And then when he got to like Bridge of Terabithia, it got better. But now I think it's really hit and miss. Whenever he tries to do those sketches, I'm never a really big fan of him. And when they take over the whole thing, like his Hocus Pocus one or his Alvin and the Chipmunks 2 ones, I really don't think it works. But yeah, that's what I think. Worst animated show, Family Guy. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. Which is funny because I like things like Drawn Together and South Park. But yeah, I hate that show so much, especially its ego. And Brian Griffin is like my most hated animated character of all time. Hate him. What's my, have I seen Flush Away? Yeah, not in a long time, but I do think it's pretty good. What's my opinion on Food Fight? Tragedy. It could have been decent if the script wasn't so bad, but I just blame Larry Kasanoff. I know I talked about Animat recently, but actually you guys got to go check out his video that's based off of the history of Food Fight. It's actually really interesting. You can tell he did a lot of research on it, and it actually was really informative. No, we're never going to do a watch special off of it because we just don't really feel like we need to. Everybody already does it. So, what is the After Effects in our food videos? Depends on the one. The one we had recently, was the one with the Indie Dedos. We actually had to wash our mouth out with like hot water, because if you guys want to get a bad taste out of your mouth, gargle hot water because it'll get a lot of the material off your tongue a lot faster because heat rises and stuff. I don't know if that's the reason why, but most of the time especially with the first two, the Rotten one and the first Mr. Nez and Mr. Lunt one, we actually usually just kind of sit back and laugh. The Simpsons, what's my opinion on The Simpsons? Well, given the fact that I'm reviewing every season by season, in fact, season 6 will be up in just a couple days, I think it's safe to say that it's my second favorite show right next to Day of the Barbarian. King of the Hill, I like it. It's not my favorite, but dang it, Bobby, I thought it was a pretty good show. And another thing why I hate Family Guy and Seth MacFarlane is because they're the reason King of the Hill got canceled. I mean, think about it. They got rid of King of the Hill to make way for the Cleveland show, which only lasts 2 seasons, and it's a loser. It's a loser, and I bet it's feeling sorry for itself. Have I seen the Don Bluth movie Thumbelina? Don't really care for it. Although I do like a lot of Don Bluth movies. The only ones I don't like are Troll in Central Park and Thumbelina. That's really it. I even like Pebble and the Penguin, although it is more of a guilty pleasure. American Dad. Not as bad as Family Guy. Actually, it's the reverse of you, NBC. It's not as bad as Family Guy, but it's pretty lame. The only thing I really like is Klaus, mostly because I think it's a pretty decent idea. Worst incarnation of the Looney Tunes. Either Lunatics Unleashed, Baby Looney Tunes. Yeah, I'd say that. A lot of people would say the Looney Tunes show, but I actually think it's a little overhated, although I certainly don't like it. I certainly do not like it. What do I think? Do I like Sheep in the Big City? I actually do, yeah. I think that it's a pretty decent show. It is kind of like a Rocky and Bullwinkle or even Day of the Barbarian, which came later, which apparently Doug Langdale, the creator of the show, is actually a pretty decent fan. So yeah, have I heard of Five Nights at Freddy's? Of course, it looks really stupid. I played it for like, what was it, 20 minutes and got really bored by it. Not really caring about it. I mean, no offense, but I do think it is definitely a lot more for younger kids. Thoughts on Sesame Street? Good, but they're taking some very interesting directions right now. With that whole Veggie Monster thing that happened a few years back, and some of the new things they're trying. But I'm still loyal. I'm gonna show my kids that someday. Have I seen Over the Hedge? Okay, so since you're asking me about a whole bunch of DreamWorks stuff, let me just tell you what I think about all the DreamWorks movies right now. So here we go. Ants. I think it's pretty good. I actually like it a little bit better than Bug's Life. It's a lot darker, and I think it's a lot of fun. Prince of Egypt, very good. Actually, this one's probably the best Christian movie, like right up there with Jonah. Road to El Dorado, it was okay. It's a very hit and miss movie, but I think it was okay. Chicken Run, a lot of fun. A little bit of a cliche premise, but I thought it was pretty good. Shrek, well, I do think it is a little overrated. I do like it. Spirit Stallion of the something. Now, a certain special friend of mine, Link, likes this movie a lot. I haven't seen it in a while, so I can't really judge it. Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas. It was okay. Shrek 2, hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Thought it was a very, very good one. Okay, so what's the next one? Shark Tale, really stupid. It had no reason to be fish, really manipulative. Madagascar, good movie, a lot of fun. Wallace and Gromit, Curse the Were-Rabbit, just as good as the Wallace and Gromit shorts. And by the way, God rest his soul, the guy who played Wallace died last year. Over the Hedge, it was decent. That was pretty good. Flushed Away, haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember it being good. Shrek the Third, pretty big disappointment. It had some moments, I just didn't think it was very good. B-Movie, the meme itself, boring. Aside from the memes. The memes are decent. Kung Fu Panda, thought it was good. A lot of good action, a lot of good humor. Madagascar 2, an even better version of Madagascar. Monsters vs. Aliens, pretty good. It had some really hit and miss moments. The blog got pretty annoying, but the aliens were pretty fun. How to Train Your Dragon, I liked it. I thought it was a very interesting story and one of their best for sure. Shrek Forever After, pretty done. Megamind, surprisingly, Alfonso and I agree on this one. While it is funny, we think it works better as a drama. The parts where it's funny, it's fine. But the dramatic parts are really, really good. They could have gone a lot longer and a lot deeper. I really thought it was going to be good as a comedy, but it was an even better drama. Kung Fu Panda 2, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Puss in Boots, haven't seen. Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. Great, perfect way to end the Madagascar series, except for they're making another one. Rise of the Guardians, haven't seen. Cruise, haven't seen. Turbo, pretty lame. Just thought it was kind of a ripoff of Cars and without all the fun. Peabody and Sherman, a lot of people don't like this one. I thought it was good. On the other hand, How to Train Your Dragon 2, I thought it was just kind of It wasn't bad, I just thought it was kind of Penguins of Madagascar, haven't seen. Home, looks absolutely stupid, don't plan on seeing it. Kung Fu Panda 3, really good actually. Trolls, didn't see. Boss Baby, didn't see. Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. My mom actually wanted to see this, like just as much as I did. I didn't really grow up with Captain Underpants, but I thought it was what was I saying? I thought it was actually really good, and I never even grew up with it, but I thought it was a really good movie. It had a lot of adult humor, which I was really surprised on. Thoughts on Where's Goddamn Scared? Really, really rough, but I still think it was a good one nonetheless. Opinions on the Garfield show. Nothing in comparison to the original Garfield show, the Garfield and Friends with the U.S. Acres. Nothing in comparison to that. Everything TV Trash said, I completely agree. Opinions on Markiplier. Never seen him. Have you watched some newer of Veggie Fans? I don't know what you're talking about. Five Nights at Freddy's is remain popular for its lore. Okay? That's just nothing that I really pay attention to. I don't really pay that much attention to Five Nights at Ferdinand or anything. It's just nothing that's for me. I don't really like that kind of stuff. And I did hear about some of the lore. The lore seems all right. My roommate actually really likes it, but it's just not for me. So let's see. What was the other question that I had coming up here? What was I saying? Jeez, I mean, why am I so sidetracked here? Man, okay. What are my thoughts on Leica films? I'll get to that in just a minute. Never heard of something new for Veggie Fans. Favorite Nickelodeon movie? As in like Nickelodeon TV movie or Nickelodeon movie as in like that they released in the theater company? When you get back to me on that, I'll answer it. Thought on Leica Films. I'll get right back to that. I just had a question I was going to answer up here. What do I think of FNAF getting a movie? I don't think it's actually going to happen. I think they've stopped production on that because it's kind of losing its popularity. Isn't it like Undertow or something right now? Don't ask me. I'm not very up to date on internet trends. In fact, I just recently found out about the steamed hams Simpsons meme, which I feel real shamed about because I'm a Simpsons fan. I should know about this. Steamed hams. But what's my opinion on Dexter's Laboratory? Dexter gives himself laser eye surgery. Pretty disturbing, just like a lot of episodes from the later ones. I don't know. I didn't really like it that much. Did you ever consider one of your shows like an hang on. Would you ever consider a crossover for your show and another like mine? I don't know. It depends. We haven't even came out with the pilot yet. So thoughts on all the Leica movies. Here we go. Coraline, one of my favorite. That UHF have become one of my favorite movies now. Actually, I was the other father in and Mr. Jones in the college production of Coraline that we had pretty recently. I'll upload some pics pretty soon. Don't worry, I'm wearing clothes. But it was really fun. The button eyes were a little hard to wear though because they kept falling off and sometimes even breaking. So there was a little, especially with one time where we were doing the mouse circus scene about Other Babinski during a dress rehearsal, his button eyes fell off and they broke all over the stage. We had to stop the rehearsal to sweep up the glass off the floor, but other than that, it was good. It was really fun. I got to sing the Making Up a Song About Coraline. I got to sing that. It was a lot of fun. Paranorman, I think, is really good. Has a lot of interesting story going on to it. Box Trolls is all right. Kubo, fantastic. One of my favorite movies. The animation was breathtaking. It's one of those movies you can watch it on mute and get just as much enjoyment out of. What do you think of Cat Dog? I think it's decent. It's never been one of my favorites. I've been more of like a Hey Arnold guy or SpongeBob, but I thought it was decent. What do I think of the Crash Bandicoot meme? Haven't really invested myself that much into it, actually. So what else do you guys got? Thoughts on both Willy Wonka movies? I actually have a 2-hour video explaining why I think the Johnny Depp, why I know the Johnny Depp version is actually way better. And check out that video for more explanation. Actually, yeah, making a film with Leica would actually be a lot of fun. Oh, I love Seinfeld. Of course, Welcome to the Land of Nothingness. Seinfeld is great. I have the last 3 seasons on DVD. I love it. Have I thought of starring in any of those Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals? Maybe someday, but I don't actually pick what happens in my area. The theater I'm doing Avenue Q School Edition at right now only does 4 per year, which the next one is Little Shop of Horrors, which unfortunately school will be ended by the time the performances start there. But actually, I'm going to be in, hopefully, Drowsy Chaperone again because they're having auditions again at the college. But, yeah, the college is actually doing Drowsy Chaperone, so it's funny. 2 of the 4 plays I was in at that one place are happening in my area, which I think is actually really good. I love it. And then, of course, this summer there's Footloose, which I thought it was a little bit of a weird choice. So, what other questions do you guys have? Have you seen any other good Christian animated shows? Not that I can remember. Now, I am begging you guys, please, if you find something called The Good Sports Gang, send it to me. Alfonso and I found this DVD years ago, and we watched it, and we loved hating it. Because it was a blatant VeggieTales ripoff. If you guys can find it, I'm begging you, please send it right over to us. Oh my gosh, Billy Willie, you're doing Drowsy Chaperone. Do it. It's great. Audition for it. No, don't even do a stage manager. If you can, audition for it. I think it would be great. The play is a lot of fun. Trust me, it's amazing. I was underling that one time, and it was great. Love is always lovely in the end. It was so good. Do it. Do it. Do it. Or if you don't feel like doing that, you can go ahead and do the stage manager thing for that. Or, hey, why don't you guys watch The Slumbering Guardian? I mean, hey, we did an episode off of Drowsy Chaperone, remember? But actually, it's funny. It's a small world, huh? What's my favorite Sheep in the Big City episode? I kind of like them all. Really, my favorite part is just the ranting Swede. He's the best part. Dang it, you guys already got cast. Well, go ahead and be in part of it. It's a great play, and I'm hoping to be a part of it a second time. Yay. Have you ever heard of the show Fraggle? Actually, yes, Fraggle Rock. I'm not kidding. I actually met Red Fraggle. So here's the story. During Avenue Q, some of us weren't doing very good with puppetry. We were not very good. I was doing my part most of the time. Usually I was the kind of guy who forget to sync up the mouth movements. But they actually, no joke, brought in the girl who played Red Fraggle onto the stage to help us with our puppetry. So yeah, I, as Nikki, was being taught by her to do my puppetry stuff for 1 hour of our 3-hour Saturday rehearsal. It was a blast. I did get some fix. I don't know if I'm actually allowed to upload those because of certain things. Like you're supposed to actually ask the person before that, and I don't have any contact info anymore. But I swear to God and all that is holy, that did happen. And it was amazing. Especially because my dad grew up with Fraggle Rock, so he thought that was also really awesome. My favorite cartoon. I really like Ed, Edd n Eddy, but I also like Whatever Happened to Robot Jones. I know nobody talks about that one. Yes, meeting a Muppeteer is one of the best things ever happened. But yeah, Robot Jones, I think, was one of the most underrated shows ever. And it did get some decent popularity. Welcome to the Land of Nothingness. I need a whole episode, not just some footage. I need like because there was only 2 episodes. But thanks for helping. If you could keep looking, that'd be awesome. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, I'm so sidetracked today. I promise I don't have ADD or ADHD. I'm completely healthy. Jeez, what was I saying? Favorite cartoon, yeah. But Cartoon Network treated Robot Jones in the way that Nickelodeon treated Harvey Beaks. They goaded in the creator to come to their network and make this really awesome show, and then right when it aired, it did not. They just ditched it. They just completely ditched it, and it got me so angry when I heard about this. Because Robot Jones was good. I even have an animation cell for it, which is impossible to find. But yeah, Robot Jones is good. And it takes place in Delaware, which I don't live in, so why does that matter? That's on Phil Fisher podcast. I think it's good. I watch it here and there. Not that much of a podcast guy. Sparky the Dog, the VeggieTales ripoff is called The Good Sports Gang, featuring Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner looked at VeggieTales and said, you know the guy who, I think he was a quarterback from the Arizona Eisenhowers or whatever. I don't care. I don't like football. Except for the Splungos. The Splungos are the best. Everyone agrees on that, though. But he's like, hey, I can do that, only instead of talking vegetables, let's make talking sports balls. And it was so dumb. Nobody fell for it. It was so bad. Their names weren't things like Bob or Larry. They were the exact things that Phil Fisher feared. So you know him, near myself and Bob, and he's like, I was originally going to name Bob the tomato, Tommy the tomato, and Larry is going to be Cookie the cucumber. But then I thought, that's not going to work. That's just a typical little kids thing. So here's some of their names. I actually have these remembered because we would watch it all the time as a kid. Not because we actually liked it. We thought it was so bad that we just kept watching it. There's Kicky, the soccer ball, Duncan, the basketball, Slider, the baseball, Spike, the volleyball, QB, the football, Rally, the tennis ball, and Chip and Putt, the golf balls. It's so dumb. And then they have like little glasses, and now they have floating hands, and it's so dumb. It's so stupid, but it's so funny because the animation is so awful. Oh, I love it. No way. It was actually on TV. Oh, wow. Favorite Kids Next Door episodes. Operation Zero. I know it's kind of cheap, but it's such a good one. I love it. Also, speaking of which, I love the episode where they go into the alternate reality, where it's like the little trader dudes for Children's Defense. Actually, no. Sheep in the Big City was not treated worse than Robot Jones. Have you ever read his memos? I'll explain that in a Robot Jones TV Talks, which actually, coincidentally, I was in the works of, but this show was treated the worst out of any show ever. But yeah, Kids Next Door has a lot of really good episodes. I also like the one where number 4 goes to his dad's work and he finds that like there's that other one that had number 4 in it. Number 4 where he pretends to be an adult and they find out that R-rated movies are just anti-kid meetings. Those ones I think are my favorites. Opinion on Buzz Lightyear Stuckman. Haven't seen it in years. What's my thoughts on Sea Unreal? Oh, so dumb. Man, I wish there was anything I could say about it. Oh, well, yeah, of course sorry, I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, of course it was so dumb. But I just wish I could say anything about it, but it's just everyone's already said it. Sheep in the Big City, oh yeah, absolutely, was still mistreated very badly, no doubt about it. The guy who went on to say it said that he got He was very angry because he got no promotion for it, and he was very let down with how the show was just buried. When Sheep in the Big City was never really intended to be a show to be a big hit, but even then, they never advertised it. See, what happened was like it wouldn't even be on Cartoon Fridays. They kept pushing the time slot around. And that's a very bad sign. Even Robot Jones, for as bad as treatment as it got, it did get on Cartoon Fridays, which, yes, definitely, absolutely, Sean, I think that's how it's pronounced. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sheep in the Big City, absolutely mistreated very badly. I completely agree with you on there. Let's see. So what else do you guys have to say? Have I seen the show Cat Scratch? I actually have. It's been a little while, but I do remember. A lot of people consider that the turning point. I do like the show, but all VeggieTales fans are now required to dislike it. You know why? The guy who created Cat Scratch is the guy who is the head writer and producer and creator of VeggieTales in the House, Doug Tednapol. Look it up. Not kidding. And curse you, Doug Langdale. How dare you coincide with him? Why are you friends with him? Am I ready for this year? Yes, I am. Let's hope it was as good as last year, except for the hurricanes. That was bad. And North Korea, that was also bad. Let's see. Could I do my thoughts on the Pixar films? Okay, sure. I'll pull up a list in just a second. Okay, so Toy Story. I think the first one is decent. I think it's pretty good. Not the best, but still pretty good. Bugs Life. Again, pretty good. Nothing really that great. Toy Story 2, amazing movie. Very well done. Monsters, Inc., one of the most creative movies I've seen. Thought it was great. Although the concept is not entirely original, I really loved it. Finding Nemo, very good. Loved the animation on this, especially. Incredibles, very fun movie. Not perfect, but still very fun. Brad Bird had a lot of talent and a lot of effort put into this. Cars, don't hate it as much as everyone else does. Thought it was just okay. Mater is annoying, though. Ratatouille, been years since I've seen it, but from what I remember, it was beautifully animated, had very good story. WALL-E, well good. The first half is way better than the second half, but everybody says that. Up, great, absolutely great. The first few minutes are really sad, but then the rest is just a completely great adventure. And there's also a really stupid theory out there that they say he's dead. Toy Story 3, I actually think this is kind of better than the first one. Cars 2, absolutely terrible, stupid in every way. Brave. 12. Let's just say that 2012 was an interesting year for Disney. Pixar ended up making the more Disney-like movie, and Disney ended up making the more Pixar-like movie in Wreck-It Ralph. Easy to say Wreck-It Ralph was way better than this one. Monsters University. I never really expected anything good from this because I saw it years before it came out. You know why? It's called Every College Movie Ever Made. This movie does nothing different except makes them monsters. Inside Out, one of my favorite Pixar movies ever, if not my favorite. Good Dinosaur. Animation was good. That's basically it. Finding Dory, it was okay. Cars 3, haven't seen it. Coco, gonna see it Friday. And I heard it's great. So let's see, what do you guys have now? Time to go back to the chat. Happy 2006 to you, too, Alex. Yes. Favorite VeggieTales character? Oh, least favorite and favorite. Least favorite Ickabeezer, favorite Nezer. Only Ickabeezer isn't really a character, he's more of a demon, but then it would probably be Petunia when she has no character, like in episodes like Minnesota Cuke and Search for Noah's Umbrella, or Duke and the Great Pyro, when she's just the trophy or the girl, that's it. Which it's really a shame, because they could do a lot better stuff than that. Oh my gosh, she found the Good Sports Gang on Amazon. How much? How much is it? Yeah, Pixar actually did do commercials before Toy Story. They actually did a few animated shorts, like, was it The Adventures of Andre and Wally B? It was a really short 80s animation, but it was something. How do I know all these facts about VeggieTales? I have no life. I'm just kidding. I actually have a few industry contacts with some people in the company. I actually have gotten a couple people. I'm not going to say their names because, well, I don't want to invade their privacy and have a lot of people email them saying, tell me stuff, tell me stuff, tell me stuff, especially because one of them said not to, but I actually know a couple people who have given me some advice. I have lost contact with a couple of them. I am still in contact with two, though. And I've also looked up a lot of blogs and a lot of news information, but that's how diligent I am to get my facts across. Even like the FoxBox 4Kids Marathon, I even reached out to some of the people who were in charge of the FoxBox at the time. Not kidding. So you know why that original video was so long is because I heard the whole testimony from like 3 people telling me about everything that happened. And it was insane. What movies am I excited for in 2018? I don't know. I mean, the movie I was really excited for, The Disaster Artist, which was absolutely perfect. I've been waiting for 5 years for that thing to come out. That was perfect. So now I'm not really looking forward to much of anything except for The Incredibles 2. That's really all I know that's coming out. Let's see. Which puppets do I prefer, Lazy Town or Mr. Meaty? Well, given that Mr. Meaty is absolutely creepy and that Lazy Towns are actually got an award, like a scientific award for their technology they created, I could say the Lazy Town ones. Because, wow, that puppetry was great. But I actually like Mr. Meaty. A lot of people don't really like it. I don't know why. I mean, yeah, it's creepy and weird, but that's the whole point. The show is meant to be creepy and weird. I don't know. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's considered a Nicktoon. It's not a cartoon. It's puppets. There's a difference. I mean, it's not animated, like in any way at all. There's no animation to it. Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you guys hear the Fairly Odd Parents is pretty sure over? They moved it over to Nicktoons, but I looked on the Nickelodeon wiki and a couple sources, and they're even Butch Hartman says there's no word as to whether or not there's going to be season 11. But here's the thing. That's what happened to Dan Versus. The guys in Dan Versus were waiting for a year and a half hearing if there was going to be another season. And then a fan had to come up to Dan, the guy who plays Dan, I keep forgetting his name, and then tell him, hey, by the way, there's going to be no more of this. He's like, yeah, I kind of had a feeling. And just like how the guy who made Harvey Beaks, what's his name? C.H. Greenblatt. That's what it was, not C.J. But he found it out that Harvey Beaks was ending because of a tweet that Nickelodeon made. Like, it's that kind of thing. And actually, yes, I might even do a TV Talks on Mr. Meaty pretty soon. TV Talks are pretty easy to make, so we'll see. I have never heard of that Spider-Man movie, actually. But if Alex Hirsch is involved, then it's probably got to be pretty good. I mean, who misses Gravity Falls? I do. I mean, there's a certain friend of mine that I'm getting her introduced to Gravity Falls right now, and she is loving it right now. And so it's kind of fun to watch it with someone who hasn't watched it because you're kind of reinvesting in all the mysteries. Plus, you get to see all the things that Stan Pines is doing. He gets into a lot of really interesting stuff, which is totally interesting. I miss Gravity Falls. So let's see. What else do you guys have to say? Hopefully stuff related to the Splungoos. Everyone loves the Splungoos. And yes, I am going to keep referencing that. Always. I have actually given up on Cartoon Network, JC, Alex. I'm not dyslexic either. I have actually given up on Cartoon Network because all they do is just marathon Teen Titans. It's all they care about. So, like what Mr. Enter said, because that's all they're shilling, they're never going to give another show a chance. So why bother getting attached to any of these at all? I don't see a point. I don't see any need. I know it's not going to do well, and I know that it's just going to be swept under the rug. Anything they churn out, whether it's good or bad, I just can't trust them anymore. That's one of the reasons why, even if our show wasn't Christian, so that means that the next that those networks will not take it, we don't trust the major networks. Disney takes your copyright away when the show's over, unless you're like Kim Possible or Gravity Falls, which kind of makes us think that maybe Alfonso and I could buy Dave the Barbarian and actually like revive it on Netflix, but that's a story for another day. There's Cartoon Network, who will just sweep your show under the rug. And then there's Nickelodeon, where if you're not insanely popular instantly like The Loud House was, or SpongeBob, which even SpongeBob took a while to do a while. What happened to Bunsen as a Beast? I mean, bad show, yes, but it only lasted like one season and just disappeared. What happened? Favorite and least favorite Looney Tunes character? I love Taz, always have. I used to not like Daffy, but like I thought it was annoying as a kid. But then when I actually watched him like a lot more, and I really like him. Honestly, I always root for Sylvester to just kill that little bird. Same with Wile E. Coyote. I don't dislike the Roadrunner though. I just feel so bad for Wile E. But here's the question my dad would always ask me whenever I was watching Looney Tunes as a kid: if Wile E. Coyote can afford to buy all of the Acme products, why does he just order takeout? Answer me that. Let's see. What do I think of all the episodes of the DreamWorks era, with the exception of Pistachio and Meaningful Life, and I think that's and McLaren and the Stinky Cheese Battle, and half of Robin Good. They're all bad. Even like Beauty and the Beast, I like it, but it's not objectively a good episode. I just think it's funny. But it is not a good episode, statistically speaking. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I was gonna say with that. Major disservice. Dude, I've already fever. What? You keep asking me to talk about things I already talked about in this stream, dude. Let's see. What else do we have in here? Yes, I do find it weird that he only spoke around Bugs NBC. Why? I mean, it's kind of weird, but I don't know. Maybe he's just shy about the Roadrunner because he doesn't want the Roadrunner to know how he really feels. What plays have I been in? Well, I've been in a lot of them, but when it comes to the official, uh, actual plays I've been in, like in the theater group and in college, they are as follows. I was Mr. Salt and Willy Wonka. I was Underling in The Drowsy Chaperone. I was Nikki in one cast and ASM in the other cast for Avenue Q. Was let's see, it was Admiral Boom and Poseidon in Mary Poppins. Mr. Jones and Other Father and Coraline, and right now Rod in Avenue Q. And then hopefully something soon in The Drowsy Chaperone. So let's see, we're probably going to carry on for about 10 more minutes or so. And then we'll probably call it a night. And then there will be a Larry one on Thursday. Hopefully not as long because I needed a lot more water. My throat didn't hurt because surprisingly, I could do Larry's voice for a long time. It actually doesn't hurt as much as you think it does. I have not seen the movie Hop, but it does not look very good. I have seen the Star Wars Holiday Special, and I think it's just kind of eh. What do I think of Hanna-Barbera and Ruby Spears? Hanna-Barbera, I think, is cheap but charming. Ruby Spears, I think, is just cheap. Thomas moving to Nickelodeon. You should ask Alfonso that. He's way more up to date on Thomas. I have no real thought on it. I stopped watching Thomas years ago. My favorite was James, if you're wondering, when I was a kid, because I have a cousin named James. And that's pretty much the sole reason why he was my favorite. I've never played Roblox or Minecraft, and I have no real thoughts on them. So, any other questions you have? Wedding bells will ding, wedding bells will dong, wedding bells will ding-a-ling, and we will ding along. I know you guys have questions, so come on, I'm ready. Don't make me talk more about the Splungos and how amazing they are. And I know that's going to be torture for you guys because you don't even know who they are. Dalton and the Minions, absolutely hate them. Hate them, hate them, hate them. The only thing I slightly like about them are either their brief appearances in Despicable Me 1 when they weren't overused, or the ride in Universal, which is easily the weakest in the park. But I still think it's a good ride. Have you ever heard of Inuyasha? Yes, I've never seen it. Have I seen Pimations? No, I haven't. I've not even really heard of it. Can I do a Pug Grip impression? Yes, I can. Do you think the new Unikitty cartoon sucks? Haven't seen it. Reminds me too much of Teen Titans Go. Don't really plan on giving it a shot because I don't like Teen Titans Go. And I think it's going to be kind of the same. Just going out on a limb here. But we all know it's going to just fade away, I think. Either that's going to take over Teen Titans Go's spot, or it's just going to disappear. Because let's face it, Cartoon Network is just a barren wasteland of... Actually, no, it's more of a black hole a sinking black hole of creativity. You step on there and you think you have a chance, but not even light can escape its void, and no one will ever hear from it again. My favorite Nickelodeon movie. I liked Harold the Jungle movie. It was pretty good, but my favorite one, it's cliched, but I loved the SpongeBob movie, the first one. The second one was all right. I never really cared for the second one all that much, but the first one was great. Never seen Balto, haven't seen its sequels. You'll just have to see what parts Alfonso and I are working on. Just know that we're the big parts. He's basically the Mike and I'm kind of the Phil. In fact, I mean, even you guys, a couple of you have noticed this. Feel free to comment if you agree. But yeah, I even personality-wise, or even role of the show, and sometimes even our voices we have a lot kind of similarities to those guys. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but yes, I do know the actor Bob Hoskins. He's dead now. Well, Mayor Rattlerucker Return to Life Reloaded. Probably not. He was mostly just a one-off character. But it was really fun doing the Ralph Bakshi voice. Because the thing is, Ralph Bakshi actually does talk like this. And he's got a really interesting voice. And he kind of stutters like that. And he repeats himself like that a lot. Yeah, like exactly like that. That's how Ralph Bakshi does the voice. And I'm not even just stuttering here, stuttering like that. He just does that. Yes, and exactly what I was saying, Elzar. You'll have to see production-wise. I have seen Mulan, and I'm not excited for the sequel or the remake or whatever. And no, we will not bring back Aunt Ruth. Aunt Ruth is purely a joke, and Big Idea wants it exactly. Yes, those are the Spungos. We're talking about the Splongos. Splongoo. But yes, Sparky, thank you very much for the Sunday Crunday Sunday reference. I love it. Simpsons is great. By the way, guys, don't worry, season 6 is coming. So is season 7. When I plan to talk about the Sonic shows in the future, I did talk about Sonic X a lot. I'm probably not going to talk about the first 2 shows. And Sonic Boom, I don't know. I have no real opinion on it. Like, as a Sonic fan, I don't like it, but as a person who just watches TV, I think it's okay. Although I do like the part where they were talking about like the stereotypes and stuff, like how the fact that Amy is trying to point out that she is a strong, independent woman makes her like really weak and stuff. Yeah, thoughts on the live action Disney remakes? Pointless, absolutely pointless. I've seen the Beauty and the Beast one, and I've seen the Jungle Book one. I didn't really care for them at all. They were just the same thing as the animated one. There's no real reason. And I am so unhappy that they are making an Aladdin one. If you're going to cast anybody as the genie, it has to either be Robin Williams or nobody at all. Straight up. Straight up like that. Well, here's something new for veggie fans. You were mentioned earlier. Someone asked a question about you, but I didn't really recognize who you were. But hey, you're here. Cool. Welcome. My most overrated silly song. To be honest, the Hairbrush song. I know it's kind of blasphemous to say, but I think it's a little overrated. I mean, stuff like Where I Love My Lips, I think, are just way funnier. Oh, yeah, totally. See, there's a guy who agrees with me. Do I own any 321 Penguins videos? Not anymore. Used to own them all. Don't own any of them anymore. Because, well, the review I made of 321 Penguins, well, a bit clunky, still stands. It is definitely ill-conceived from the beginning. Even Phil's a little embarrassed to talk about it. And then when they sent it off to Cubo, ooh, that got ugly. And yes, I will talk about that on Veggie Talks one day. The Cubo version of 321 Penguins. Ooh, boy. That was even worse. Because what little things that 321 Penguins had going for it were gone. All gone. And it was embarrassing, honestly. I'm not subscribed to Variety. Actually, I'm not subscribed to any what was I saying? Any magazine. But yeah, Cubo wasn't very good. As some guy who arts points out, the only real thing they had going for it was VeggieTales, but even then, it was a neutered version of it. And while the TV segments were funny, the lessons were terrible. I have not seen the Angry Birds movie, nor have I even played Angry Birds. When I think of Astonishing Wigs, it's just kind of to me. I don't really have any opinion for it or against it. It's just kind of one of those things. It's like, oh, that's there. Cool. That's basically all I can really describe Astonishing Wigs as. My favorite retro video game consoles are the Virtual Boy and the N64. Yes, the Virtual Boy is actually good. It does not hurt eyes unless you're playing it for way too long. But I love the N64. I actually even played it a couple nights ago. Because, yeah, I haven't really gotten the chance very much. But, yeah. And I guess now anything that's outdated is considered retro. So I guess I also like the Wii and the 360. Most underrated silly song. Okay, so geez, I've actually never really even thought about that before. Probably the puppy song, the lost puppy song, that I'd give a home to all the lost puppies. I'm just kidding. That's not even really a silly song. They mostly just put that in there just for the heck of it. That's a tough. Probably Schoolhouse Polka. I thought that one was a lot of fun. Didn't really get that much attention. Or Gated Community, actually, because not a lot of people talk about Gated Community, but I thought it was really, really great. Thank you that I am the master of entertainment. I mean, my name is TAS, Sparky the Dog, but thank you very much. That actually really means a lot. I love it when you guys say stuff like that. Thank you. Yes, I know, Azario. I'm ashamed. They're making a Grinch movie. I'm not going to see it. I don't trust Illumination. I haven't really liked any of their movies. And I don't trust any of the Dr. Seuss adaptations. And it really stinks, though. You guys want to know why I didn't like the Lorax? I mean, all that stuff from that really, really bad review I made years ago stands up. It was just kind of corporate and lazy and didn't follow the book. But the thing is, I've always wanted to make a Lorax movie. I've had a script saved since I was in like junior year. And I actually just recently patched up the thing and made it actually pretty good now. But like, I always wanted to make one like that, like featuring Kelsey Grammer as the Onceler and maybe Ian McKellen as the Lorax. I think it would have been great. But yeah, and we might do more commentaries for Samson or Abrams family, but we're not going to do them in order again. I think we're just going to go jumping around like we might do Chuck. We're probably just going to stick to the ones that they're doing that are we like the most, like the Slumbering Guardian or the Futurama ones or Gary Platter, which Gary Platter is probably going to come out in February or March. Probably February, because then in late May will be the next Live and Reloaded, which will be The Legend of McBob, which is Macbeth. And then you guys will just have to see from there, like Parkway V. Yes, we're actually doing Parkway V. Because we've been over this, I think, but if you guys want to know the reasoning, just ask and I'll tell you, because, I'm pretty open with you guys. Will we ever see Leo Norms again? No. Actually, if it was even up to me, and if it wasn't such an important landmark on my channel being the first video, I would have all those old videos taken down. They're embarrassing. Very few of any, or if any, jokes of those in their work, like the Heathcliff ones, are embarrassing. The Leo Norms is just kind of dumb. Villain's License was annoying. Quarrel Brothers, the first video was good. That's it. A lot of our older videos were not good. In fact, one of them was so bad I actually turned it on private mode so no one could ever see it. I just, Thoughts on Kids WB? I was more of a Foxbox guy, but I did see it here and there, and Kids WB was pretty good. House, apartment, will ever do a live tour? Maybe. Maybe someday I'll do a tour. I don't know. We'll have to see. And yeah, I live in a house, by the way, and a dorm. I also live in a dorm. Favorite character in The Loud House? Luann is my favorite. Although Alfonso, his favorite is Lana. I don't know why. What are my thoughts on YouTube poops? If they're done well, like Jimmy Davis, I like them. Also, the steamed ham meme has like a lot of really good YTPs coming out, which is just kind of something I noticed today. Like I said, I'm ashamed that I only realized that those came out today. But they're pretty easy to get wrong. But when they're good, I like them. Okay, so what else do you guys have on offer? I'm waiting. I've never heard of the game Tattletale, actually. Never heard of it. Of course, I've seen Jimmy Davis as YTPs. I mean, we've referenced them a lot in this here. Did I ever see the Magic School Bus? Actually, no, I've never. Well, I did see it when I was younger, but I don't remember anything about it. Uh, have I heard about the Mario Illumination movie? No, but I'm not going to see it because I don't really like Illumination. Oh, jeez. Okay. You said Avenue Q helped you out with some problem. What was it? I don't know. I don't know. Well, I know what the problem is, but I don't know if you guys would be really interested in hearing about it because, like, well, it was pretty dark. Don't worry, I didn't do anything bad or naughty or anything, and you know what I mean by naughty. But it wasn't like that. It was just kind of a rough time. I don't know. I don't know if you guys would be interested in hearing about that. So we'll see. Just let me know if you are, and maybe I'll do something about it. Have you seen the Pokemon video games movies? Yes, I have. I stopped watching the TV show around like when Sinnoh was midway through or something. I don't know. Um, I haven't seen really many of the movies, but I do have some of the games. I actually still play Pokemon Diamond here and there. That's my favorite Pokemon game of all time. Always will be. That one's just really special to me. My old save file got corrupted, though. That's the last time I used Action Replay. And that's why I don't cheat anymore. So now I'm doing my own, trying to get all the ones, but that's going to be hard because wireless connection is now disabled. So I guess now I might have to bust out the Action Replay to reclaim all those Pokemon that were stolen from me. That, to be fair, I used Action Replay to get in the beginning anyways. Have I seen the movie The Wild? No, I have not. What's my favorite merch to buy? President autographs or president memorabilia. In fact, I've got my own personal presidential library, and a video showcasing it is in the works. And the estimated value on that stuff is actually about like $4,000. What's my thoughts on the DK TV show? Pretty lame, but awesome theme song. Do I still wish to be Zucchini in the Veggieverse? Yeah, probably. Have I ever played any VeggieTales games? I used to play them on the website back in the day. Don't really remember what many of them were, but yes, I do. I did do that. Not very many questions popping up here. I think couple people have left. Like Billy Willie, I think he's out. Haven't heard from him in a while. Let's see. Well, at least we got some of the regulars here. I recognize a lot of you from some of your comments. Don't think that I don't remember you. Hey, remember you! What are my thoughts on Mega Man? Aside from Super Smash Bros. 4, I haven't really played as him. Do you own any VeggieTales videos? Yes, actually, quite a few. Most of them are from my old collection. Some of them are just collector's versions. I have heard of Mystery of Veggie Island, but I haven't seen it. I haven't played it, I mean. Yeah, the entire website is just a store now. It's embarrassing. But it's not even a VeggieTales website. It's the Religtables website. Yeah. Oh, come on, Martha Igwe, I think it's pronounced that. Ooh. Well, she wants to know my real name. Come on, really? I told you, we'll tell you our names eventually, sometime. All you need to know is that my name starts with a T. Alfonso's name does not start with an A, or a D, or a G, or an H, or an M, or a V. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know on my name. Well, probably you might want to know why we have an anonymity like this. I don't know. It's just something from back in the early parts of the YouTube stuff. We've seen a lot of hacking and stuff going on. We wanted to have a lot of anonymity right there. You know what I'm saying? And you guys are asking me a couple of politics questions here. Now, although I am, you guys do know I try to be pretty opaque with politics here. One thing you guys are gonna know though is that I don't base like anything off of opinion. I always go to like straight fact, because one thing you kind of have to know is that I'm kind of obsessed with political history. So you can ask me like any question about a president or who did this in what year, and I can basically tell you. So if you guys really want to know my opinion on X political figure, You might need to get a lot of other people to ask me it too, because those are some of the tricky questions. And you also have to promise not to get angry on any of my opinions, because, you know, the politicals field of today is really divided. So you either have to want it, or get a lot of people to want it, and also promise that you won't get angry. Okay, good. So as a kid, your favorite was Dragon Ball Z. Oh, that's cool. Opinions on Minnesota Cube franchise. First one was good. Second one was decent. Not great, but still decent. No, my name didn't show up in one of my old vids. That was Todd Sleazeman. That was a character I played. My name is not Todd, actually. That is one of my friends' names, though. All I will tell you is my name is 2 syllables. Both of our names are actually 2 syllables. So yeah, I have seen The Room, and I have seen The Disaster Artist. They're both amazing. Okay, you won't be mad. Maybe I'll tell you the political stuff. All right, I'll do it at the very end. I'll tell you that. Okay, so what else do you got? Let's go on for like 5 more minutes. I know I said like we'd go on for 10 minutes like 20 minutes ago, but I'm really bad at this kind of stuff. Trust me. I never know when to stop. Oh, yeah, that's just me. I really like talking to you guys because, like I said in the Larry one, you're the reason we do all this stuff. We do it all for you. We try to make sure you guys are happy, and I really like fan interaction because not only you guys are great, but yeah, we just really want to make sure that we're giving you quality content you're gonna like, and it seems like that's what we're doing. So yay, mission accomplished. So what do we got? How have I seen Hoodwink? Yes. First one is good. Second one is absolutely atrocious. And I'm sorry that I went to see it in the theater. That's the first movie I walked out on and was thoroughly unimpressed with any of it. Favorite kind of honey, the kind that comes from bees, I suppose. Never really thought of it like that. Okay. Yeah. Thoughts on Donkeyoli? Looks awful. Let's see. We got ever collaborated with any other YouTubers? Yes, I collaborated with a guy named Pokezave, who is also known as that guy. I had one in the works for a while with this one guy, but he just never got back to me, and it was kind of disappointing. Technically, Leaf Razor and Chi and all those people that appear in VeggieTales Abridged, which they're always welcome to come, and I'm very happy that I work with them. But in like TV talks, there is one that I have crossed over with, and it's a Secret Show one, and we do not talk about that. We do not talk about that at all, ever. If you want to give me mad, just mention that. Let's see. Thoughts on Nintendo Wii? I love it. Great. Have I seen Smosh? Yes, they used to be kind of funny. Now they're not. Happily Never After. Animat said it best. Poor man Shrek. Wow, Animat's just popping up all over the place. Let's see. And let's see. I know a couple of you guys wanted to know my age, which I won't tell you that. All you need to know is that I am probably older than a lot of my subscribers, and that I am in college. That's all you need to know really right now. And also one thing is that I'm trying to grow a mustache. We'll see how it looks. But it's going to take a while because my family grows facial hair phenomenally slow. So this picture that you're looking at right now, probably not going to look at like that for a while. Have I ever talked to Phil Vischer? Not yet, but I have his contact info, and I'm going to start emailing him when the show gets closer to get some last-minute advice. Because there's nothing like waiting till the last minute to get advice from your hero, right? Right? Yeah, I know. Okay, so what else do you guys have to say? We got a couple minutes left, so if you have any questions, ask now. And forever hold your peace. Yes, NBC. I think we are. Pretty close to the same age. But I will tell you my birthday. It's August 3rd. I ever seen the Larry Boy and the Bad Apple PlayStation game? Nobody. Alfonso used to actually have the Bad Apple one on Game Boy, and he and I would like take turns playing it. And I think we ended up beating it once when we were at that Outer Lake condo, and that was a lot of fun. It was snowing that day, a lot of snow. Because our state, when it gets snow, it gets a lot of snow. Although it doesn't really get snow a ton, but when it does, it gets it quite a bit. Our state's weird. It's just really weird. So, like I said, if you have any last questions, ask them now or forever hold your peace. I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. So, what do you have? All right, so I'll give you guys about 1 more minute, and I have a timer set up, and then I'm gonna answer that political history question. Thoughts on the VeggieTown skits? Actually, those are very good, very, very well done VBS program. My church almost did them actually, but because then they got me to start writing for a lot of their programs, which I might release the scripts online because they're not to toot my own horn, but they're pretty funny. Um, yeah, but they're very good. Will we ever do a Shrek version of Live Reloaded? Pretty sure we're not going to do that. Which fighting games do I like? Injustice 2 is pretty good. Super Smash Bros. Games are always great. Yeah. Ever seen the Donut Man? Oh, I forgot about the Donut Man. Thanks for reminding me, actually. Wow. Haven't thought about that guy in like a decade. Wow. Yeah, since I was like. Oh, no, actually, no, Kyle, I do. Let's see. One of my friends, one of my friends like from down the street, one of my friends from like down the street from our old house we used to live in, we used to joke about it all the time. Yeah, Mr. Rogers, you got it going on good. And no, he wasn't like Mr. Rogers from the Mr. Rogers show. That's his name. That was his name, Kyle Rogers. He used to joke about the Donut Man all the time. Yeah, I lost contact with that guy, but like, yeah, I wonder how he's doing. Let's see, favorite food, green apples. I adore them. I love them so much, and I actually eat like 4 a day. On Live Reloaded, will you try to make a proper sequel to a Snoodles tale? No, leave good enough alone. Didn't Snoodlerella already teach that enough? If you could write League of Incredible Vegetables, how would I do it? Easily. Don't include the other vegetables. Change the lesson. Have Junior not be the main focus, and have Larry Boy the main focus, and change the lesson and the villain. So basically, just redo everything. Nothing about that was good. I don't even like the Avengers concept of it. I mean, even if you're gonna do the whole Avengers thing, why not try to, put in like Dark Crow or Lemon Twist or Electro Melon, like that. Why not? Not on Daniel's Target neighborhood. I don't know what that is. What's your favorite childhood PBS shows? I didn't really watch that many. I mean, I watched Arthur and Dragon Tales here and there, but I never really watched that a ton. I was more of a VeggieTales guy or sometimes Nickelodeon. Tickle You wasn't embarrassing though, although that did come out when I was way too old for that. I actually did heard of Adventures of Odyssey, Cave Cat. Didn't see a ton of them when I was a kid, but yeah, I do remember them. No way we're doing Ren and Stimpy Live Reloaded. Sorry, dude. It's just no way. There's not enough substance to do a version of that. Okay, so we'll probably be taking 1 or 2 more questions, and I think that's about it. And all right, so I think that's just about it. So, all right, let's get on to that dreaded political question. Okay, thoughts on Playhouse Disney. I watched it here and there as a kid. Don't really remember anything of it now. Thoughts on McGee and Me. I've never actually seen it. Seen a couple reviews of it. Looks kind of odd. Okay, so all questions are now closed. Save them for the Larry one. Okay. These ones just came in like really, really quickly. So I'll answer these last ones, these last 3, but then that's it. Thoughts on the original Xbox? Have it, played a lot. Are you going to do Live Reloaded based off of Grease? Probably not. Actually, we're not that big fans of Grease, but that's not a bad idea. Before Disney Junior, yes, that's exactly what I meant on the Playhouse Disney. I watched it a little bit as a kid, but never really paid that much attention. Okay, so if you guys don't want to be triggered by political stuff, turn off. So, to give you an estimated assumption on what I think of every political figure, let's go over every president. Yes, I'm going to do this because, hey, you guys have wanted me to go over every single thing. In fact, there's a comment right here that just came in. Thoughts on all the Disney movies. Let's go over every president. George Washington, founder of our nation. Very, very good guy. Did not have wooden teeth, but he was a very strong leader and very, very helpful in developing our nation. If it was someone like John Adams or John Jay or Thomas Jefferson, William Rutledge that was in charge, then you know what I'm trying to say. Then it wouldn't have shaped out like this. John Adams, pretty embarrassing actually, pretty bad temper. Thomas Jefferson, way better in a course to John Adams. James Madison, pretty decent, a little bit weaker than Thomas Jefferson. James Monroe, very effective in leading our nation. John Quincy Adams, he was cheap. He stole the presidency, undeniable, kind of a liar and a cheater. really irritable, never got anything done. Andrew Jackson, very divided on, have no real set of opinion because it's all based on fact. For every good thing he did something else wrong, which really hurt. Martin Van Buren ruined our economy, very fanciful man. Could have been a really good patron of democracy, but really shot himself in the foot. William Henry Harrison, how do you praise? That guy was dead in 30 days, as they say in Animaniacs. John Tyler, really stubborn. I think he was just kind of power hungry at the time. He wasn't bad, but he very clearly was not able to get along with his cabinet. James K. Polk, very hard worker, very underrated. I thought he was a very good guy. Zachary Taylor, didn't really do that much. He was kind of, he died pretty quickly, and he was a little bit of an off individual. Millard Fillmore, very weird, very bland, did not lead the nation very well at all, very ineffective. Franklin Pierce, the guy's like cursed. I'll go on that some other time maybe. I don't have enough time, but not a very good job. Buchanan, our worst president. Abraham Lincoln, our best one. Andrew Johnson, good thing he was impeached because he was extremely racist and bad. Ulysses Grant, great general, awful president because he corrupted everything. Rutherford Hayes didn't really steal the election like what people said, but yeah, he wasn't very good. James Garfield, very good until he died. Chester Arfield, good. Grover Cleveland, good the first time, not the second time. Ben Harrison, pretty weak. William McKinley, very effective. Teddy Roosevelt, William McKinley on steroids. William Howard Taft, diet. Teddy Roosevelt, so therefore diet. William McKinley. Woodrow Wilson, first term good, second term not at all good, especially when he tried to lead us into World War I. Warren Harding, a lot of people hate him. I think he actually was a really good one. A lot of the corruption he was in is just kind of fabricated. A lot of people just assumed he did bad things. Calvin Coolidge, he's basically Noah from Total Drama and Personality. He's hilarious. He started the Roaring Twenties. Herbert Hoover, while he didn't cause the Depression, he certainly made it worse. Franklin Roosevelt, a bit overrated, but he did a lot of unconstitutional things, especially with his court packing attempt. But, you know, he was a very good leader, especially during wartime. He helped us get out. Even though Truman dropped the bomb, he definitely helped lead us and helped us to do really well. Harry Truman, also good. Not quite as good as FDR, but still good. Eisenhower, he really had the power and he knew exactly what to do. Kennedy, very strong leader. Although he himself was not that advocate of a civil rights person, he was a pretty strong leader. Lyndon Johnson, well, he was a good civil rights leader, but Vietnam, Vietnam. Nixon, good first time. Then when Watergate happened, everything just fell apart. Gerald Ford, he fell down a lot, and he was kind of a clumsy leader. Jimmy Carter, again, a clumsy leader. Ronald Reagan, great. George Bush, Clinton, until got impeached. George Bush Jr., good first term, sort of good first term, I should say, and then not good second term because Congress really wasn't a friend of his. Barack Obama, very historic presidency, being the first African American to ever be elected to the highest office in the land. But one thing you're going to know about me is I do not like partisanship. This guy was the poster child for partisanship. He really, really did not allow a lot of people to speak freely. And a lot of the Occupy Wall Street stuff and a lot of the angry people on a lot of political sides was helped because of him because he kept trying to shut out his opponent's views. Donald Trump, well, let's just face it this way. I don't believe that CNN is trustworthy. I think that our economy is in a big uproar right now, our stock market is at the really high records. And also that this guy is hilarious. He's really funny. But yeah, I won't say, that's all I'll say right there. But, well, thank you guys for not getting mad, and I will see you guys later. I know it's getting pretty late on a lot of your end, specifically in your like New York or Vermont or something over there. So I'll see you guys Thursday with our live stream as Larry the Cucumber. I'll see you guys later. And I'm just going to hum until you guys leave. Turning off the live stream. Here we go. Waiting for the lag to be over. Had 20 viewers at some point. I don't know. Maybe I had more. I can't tell because my thing is kind of broken.